recording. Then we will have this interview together. And one of the GTeX Member of the Month interview is one of my favorite parts actually of the entire month, because we get actually first of all to hear some of the successes of each members, and everyone here is working really hard on your business, plus dealing with what life in general throws at us. So business is never just business, right? There is all a combination of things that we are dealing with. So I want to, this is a way to acknowledge members for the work that they're doing, for the results that they're getting. And I remember having a conversation with Tracy when she joined, because she's not new to business. She had businesses for many years, but she's new to this kind of business. And something that she really wanted to launch, and she really wanted to start. And that's why then she joined. And the reason why Tracy was selected to be in GTeX Member of the Month this month is for a few reasons. One, she got certified as a trainer speaker. So that's the first one. On top of that, she also got her first hypnotherapy client to pay in full in advance. And if you think about when you're starting something new, these moments of validation and these milestones, when you have your first clients and paying you in full, when you have, when you get a new certification, when you're moving forward in this way, is such a validation of the quality of the work that you're providing, and is very needed. So that's why also we wanted you to acknowledge for this incredible milestone, Tracy. And also the other part is that also you got two more new clients in the pipeline as a result of having that particular client. So there has been a lot of progress that has been made in the past month. And so this is a time for everyone to give a massive whoop whoop to Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well deserved. And also for us to explore, what made this change possible, because this is how the interview is going to go. We're going to, I'm going to ask a few questions first, and for everyone also to understand more about you and your business. And then we are going to open the floor from questions from the other members, things that they're curious about. Now, remember, for all the members here, already start thinking about questions that you would like to ask to Tracy. So that's number one. And secondly, don't ask questions like, I have this problem in my business, what would you do? Okay, it's not a role to mentor you. We are there, there's the GTeX team for it, but ask more questions about her. I know, how did you do this? What happened in this moment? How did you get through? So ask more questions, because then we can learn in that way. These are the best questions. These are the questions that also I'm going to pick. So please put the questions in the chat, so then we can have them. But then I'm going to start. First of all, Tracy, great job. Awesome.
Thank you.
And tell us a bit more, about your business and about what you do, so then everyone has context for the start of this conversation.
Brilliant. Thank you, Simone. I'm just like so blown away. So I'm a life coach. I spent 20 years in corporate life, pretty much burnt out most of that. And I was trying to conceive a child for like 5 of the sort of the end of that, and really struggled to do that because I was just burnt out all the time. So I managed to have a baby via IVF, which was amazing. And it just got me really thinking about my life, like, what did I want to do with it? Because it wasn't what I really wanted to do. So I basically trained to be a coach initially, but it also led me on to becoming a hypnotherapist. And then I later went on to do the trainers and the speakers certification as well. And my life has taken such a big turning. I moved from the city, I moved down to West Sussex, and I'm on a farm. I've got 50 sheep, and so my life has taken a big turn. But I work with women who are burnt out and who know that they need a change, and getting them to reconnect to themselves. That was initially what I was doing, but the hypnotherapy side has really taken off, and so I'm finding that I'm helping lots of other people with stress and anxiety, male and female at the moment. So, but yeah, it's wonderful. It's I just love helping people, and I love how the mind works, and all of these things are coming together and combining. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Hope that's okay.
Thank you for sharing. And the question I have for you, if we explore, what happened last month. What was the moment when you made the decision and said, you know what, this is my future, this is the next step for me in my life, and I want to focus in the area of coaching, right? Why coaching and then hypnotherapy and not something else? So what got you to make that decision?
Well, I had my daughter. I'm 45. I had her at 42. Quite a big sort of step for somebody to do. It's a big commitment, as people know with kids, but I really lost my identity at that point, and I ended up quite depressed, actually, because I was this high-flying person, and all of a sudden I had this baby, and like the baby was dictating to me what to do. So I found that really, really difficult to navigate. So I got the help of a counselor, and I decided that I want to help other people. That was the turning point for me. Was I ended up in that place where people end up, and I just realized that there's more to life than running in the hamster wheel, and I wasn't really fulfilled in any way. I'm not saying that working in corporate life is unfulfilling, but it was for me, because I was earning the salary, but I just was tired and exhausted and burnt out. So yeah, that was the pinnacle point for me.
It wasn't worth it, from what I hear you saying, and it wasn't for you. And then you found a new word, and through the help, I think it's one of the situations. And when you receive the help, it's also how I got into coaching. When I experienced it, I loved it so much that I decided that's what I wanted to do. And also, kudos to you, because I'm talking to like a lot of women. We've been working with a lot of women, and when you have a child, is a big step. Is a big step, and in particular, as you mentioned, like it dictates how, like, what you do with your time, your priorities. And so the other question I want to ask you is, how do you juggle as much as possible? Because I'm sure that there are moments that you might feel, okay, I got this, and moments you say, I don't have this at all. But how then do you juggle, like, having a family and also starting your business? Because there is a lot of energy there, in particular when you work in something that is already established. You're cruising through work that you have done in the past. So you're leveraging and you have that momentum. But when you're building something new, there is a lot of fuel to put. There is a lot of energy to put to create momentum. And at the same time, you're putting also a lot of energy in to raise your child as well. So how do you balance it all?
For the most part, I think it's finding the work-life balance and knowing that you've got to, like, I have to have something to do. I say something to do. I need that sort of inspiration and the sort of the sort of ignition in my mind of business. So as much as I love my child, I still need like part of my life too. And so yeah, it is a lot of juggling, and sometimes the shit hits the fan, and I don't get to do what I want to, particularly if my child's sick or things don't go to plan. But that's life. But I'm quite strict with my boundaries, and I think that's a really, really important part of what I teach as well. Because if you're not good at your boundaries, then there's a lot of overlap, and I've got a partner who's likes to sort of be quite manly and so forth. So yeah, having boundaries and just also putting myself first as well sometimes, when I can. So it's, yeah, I think I find inspiration in helping other people. So that's what keeps me going, really.
Yeah. That's thank you for sharing it. What I love about the interview with the GTeX member of the month is that we tend to have, we get to have conversations that where we can understand the, different sides of our life, because when we do a training, it's more about, okay, these are the specific questions that I have, but then I get to know all the members better throughout this way. And I can see, for example, Shan nodding. I remember when Shan joined GTeX, her daughter was literally like, was a few months old. And Patty became a mom recently as well. So sure, this conversation is very relevant. Now, so please, I can see already a few questions coming in, so please keep them writing, because I got one last question, and then I'm going to pass it on to you. So last month was a big milestone for you. You had your first client paid in full for your hypnotherapy work, and I love also deconstructing how did it happen, because I think that we can all learn. We can all learn about what makes them possible, because every process can be repeatable. It can be repeatable for you so that you can get the next client in that way, but also it can be repeatable for others, so where they might see something that they've not seen before, or it can be a reminder of something that they know, but then they forgot, they're not doing, and say, okay, actually, let me do this. So how did it happen for you? How did you find that client? How did the conversation go? And what made the sale possible?
I think one of the biggest aha moments for me was during the offer acceleration program, where it was like, hey, I don't have to charge the full price all the time. And once I let that go, I just started attracting all these people. And the other key thing for me has been my community. I've started really sort of honing in on things like my local cafe, for example. And I got talking to him and said, I do hypnotherapy. And then I saw one client from that, somebody from the cafe. And she said, oh, you should try Tracy. She's really good. And then I had an owner of the barber down the road saying, I've got bad anxiety. Can you help me? And he said, how much do you charge? And I told him my fee, and he didn't bat an eyelid. And I thought, oh, this is good. This is good. I could get used to this. Mm-hmm. So I did a great session with him, and he's come back for more. He's saying, look, I want to see you on a monthly basis now. So, I think it's, amazing. So I'm getting lots of referrals from that. And then also just those people are referring me onto other people as well. I mean, I've actually got more than 2 people in my pipeline now. I actually signed on 3 people yesterday as new clients. So,
awesome. So that's another celebration to this point that we got to add. Well done. Massive well done.
So and some of them I can see will turn out long term, because like there's a girl that I was talking to, she wants, wants to come to me for a symptom of something, but actually long term she needs coaching really for 2 or 3 months to get her back on track. So I can see how that's going to turn into monthly revenue as well. So that's part of my new strategies, just getting this sort of momentum going with monthly income, as well as those nice sort of big chunks that are coming in. So I billed £1,000 last month.
Great job.
Which for me is a big,
yes,
big deal. So
it is a milestone. It is an important milestone. Like any time when we reach those things, is the validation that we are on the right track, and then we build from those. And in particular for a new business that you have just started, right? I'm really happy for you. And what I can see, like if we had reconstruct also, like it started with the first conversation and the first person and delivering great quality work, and people talk about it. But I think that there is a lot of emphasis right now also, of course, like we live in an online first world, right? Where we have a lot of lead generation, a lot of client connection, they happen in the online world. But let's not forget, the local community that we have, the local environments that are around us. Local is, I think someone, Shan said, local is really good here in the chat, because it's way easier for example, to build the relationships with local businesses that are in your area, where either you can leave leave a flyer or a leaflet, or you can, I remember even at the beginning of GTeX, we were working with local cafes and doing workshops with that local cafe that we were partnering up with. So look around. I think this is a great reminder also for me as well, because I've been a bit out of touch with that. But where am I living? What's around the local area that I'm living? Because just the fact that you're living in the same local area builds already trust. And someone, yes, you might be offering a service that can be done fully online, but just the fact that you're living in the same area, there is an element of commonality, and commonality builds trust straight away. So great reminder, Tracy. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. And great job also for achieving those results.
I just wanted to add as well, sorry.
Sure.
I was in my hairdresser's and she said, oh, I've got a friend of mine who wants to stop smoking and I know you do hypnotherapy. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, can I pass her details on to you? So it's like, there's another potential source of clients sitting right there.
Listen, and if we know something, that hairdressers know everything. They know everything about everyone. So
oh yes, the cafe's even better. He's like the local community hub there where everybody goes and just pulls out their problems. So it's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's great, because this is a great reminder for everyone to say, okay, who are the people? Because it's all about people, right? So who are the people that I can connect with in my local community that could then make those introductions, they could make those connections, and they might do or they might not, but at least they know who you are and what you're doing, and that makes a big difference. So now I want to get started with the questions from the members. So there was a first question from Genevieve. Genevieve, can you please unmute yourself and also ask the question that you have for Tracy?
Okay. So then, I just wanted to know if, because it's really hard, like especially when you've got a good job and you're earning the money, was it hard to did your friends and family support you, or were they quite skeptical? Did you have to kind of be really strong to get through that, or were they really supportive?
Initially, I think my partner doesn't sort of saw hypnotherapy as a bit of like woo-woo subject, even although he said, oh, I can't dance. And I said, where did you form that belief? And I started asking him the questions. And then he was like, I said, I haven't even put you under hypnotherapy yet. And I've already, projected. But so initially he was a bit skeptical, but he supported me because he loves me. And he wanted me to succeed. So yeah, it is hard because sometimes, I'm sitting in front of a computer or I'm on a course or whatever, and, he doesn't quite get that why I'm doing that, but the money's starting to come in and he's like, wow, actually, babe, you're doing really well. Like,
nice.
I know why I'm with you because you're smart.
Bring some moolah to the table.
Yeah. So, and because I've been in the books for like 3 years, I've been retraining, training and stuff. So, he must be sitting there thinking, what's she doing? But now that I'm starting to actually earn some money, he's totally convinced and really, really on board. But yeah, it is really important. It is key to have somebody support you, and it is hard to get them to buy into the idea, particularly if they don't necessarily believe in it.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Genevieve, for the question.
Well Appreciate done, Tracy.
Thank you. Great question.
The next question is from Gulay. So Gulay, can you mute yourself so that you ask a question as well?
Yeah, hypnotherapy I find a very interesting subject. Who did you do your training with, and what did it cost you? How long did it take?
So I did RTT therapy, so it's rapid transformational therapy. At the time, it cost about £5,000. You do get a hypnotherapist qualification, and in a year's time, I'll get clinical hypnotherapy, based on the hours that I'm training and the amount of clients that I see. You get a year to do it. I probably did it for a year and a half because I actually went to the live as well, which is a 5-day intensive in addition to that, because I just wanted more experience and also just really kind of understanding it, because it's a big responsibility when you've got somebody's life in your hands like that, you know. So I wanted to make sure that I was 150%, if that makes sense. But yeah, very like amazing course.
It's the one with Marissa Peer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, she's amazing. She's just she kicks ass. She's great. She gets results. She's yeah, to see her live in person.
I actually admire her seriously as a woman, what she's done. Yeah.
She cured herself of cancer through hypnotherapy.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. So feel free to drop me a line if you want to find out more information, because she's yeah, it's a really good course to do as well. The ongoing support is amazing. You get a membership, and you like they still keep you up to date with all sorts of things, and it's a combination of, it's not just hypnotherapy, there's 3 or 4 different modalities all rolled into one. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you Gula, for the question. And I remember actually meeting Marissa Peer, what's that, I think about 7 years ago, or probably 6 years ago.
Wow.
Spoke at an event in Nottingham, and she was speaking there as well. And that's also when I met some of the GTeX members, like Caroline. That was the first time that we met, and I was really impressed by. And there are actually quite a few GTeX members that are RTT trained, RTT therapist trained. So there is they're doing a really great job. So thank you, Gula, for the question. Thank you, Tracy, for the answer.
Okay.
I'm going to now move to Angie. Angie, I can see your question. So if you can please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, sweetheart. Congratulations. Really tough for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. As somebody who's relatively new to I'm more or less a startup to business. So I'm just asking you, obviously, because you've got over that hurdle a little bit, in my eyes anyway, definitely. What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned from when you started up your business, and what advice can you give to somebody that's setting up?
Determination, I think, is a key thing, and just pushing through. You are going to have bad days, and you are going to have really good days. And there's days where you're like, I question myself, like, am I sure I want to do this? Like, gosh, you know, like, but you just come back to your why, keep asking yourself then, why am I doing this? And that really, really helped me push through. And, you know, the difficult times when you thought, well, why am I, you know, I'm just sitting in front of a computer all day and I'm not really generating anything. And I have to say, GTeX has been the key for me in terms of unlocking things, because just those 2 key things, the community and you know, just building on that has just been phenomenal for me. So just keep going, you know, keep going, have that support as well. It's nice having somebody kind of backing you up and knowing that you've got that support behind you, because when the days do get tough, you know, and the dogs are calling, it's great to have that support when you need it.
Thank you, darling.
You can do this, Angie.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Thank you, Angie, for the question. And you know, it is a game of determination, and it is a game of going through the downs and through this roller coaster, because the magic happens, like, is always at the end of a really tough period. Like, if I had to see the biggest successes that I had with GTeX, or the biggest breakthroughs that I had with GTeX, they always followed a moment that I wanted to quit. So it's almost like when you see a moment, and that moment is the moment where you say, I want to quit, it's kind of like, even if you cannot be excited about that, or really struggle to find the energy to move forward, just do what you can moving forward, because something will happen unexpected that will turn things around. And I can say that it's always happened. It has always happened. And if I talk to a lot of people, that's also what they're seeing. So it is an endurance game. It is a And at the same time, when you need to slow down, you slow down. When you speed up, you speed up, but it's never stopping. Right? That's the moment to stop. That's the moment that we lose. So,
but also, you know, if I can just add to that, Simone,
sure.
When you know it's time, when you're thinking, I need to quit or I need to stop, that's actually when you're about to break through. That's when you're about to like actually do something amazing. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer on that. So thank you, Angie, for the question. And now we have another question from Genevieve. So Genevieve, can you please unmute yourself again? That's a really interesting question as well.
Yeah, sorry. Because I saw loads of questions kept going through my mind.
No apologies. You have great questions. So let's go.
I love it. Come on, hit me with it.
Okay, yeah. So did your 20 years in corporate world, did it prepare you for the coaching? Because often, you know, you have to supervise people and stuff. Do you think it kind of helped you kind of actually really, really grasp it?
Yes, in a way, because part of my role in corporate was developing people. So I would recruit people and then develop them into like amazing negotiators. So the sales side of it was really good. But so yeah, it certainly gave me a really good grounding for like understanding different types of people. You know, what are their kind of, you know, knickknacks and so forth. But I guess coaching for me has been an amazing experience, because I was looking at it from like a manager position, and you would, you know, say to somebody, well, you know, this is kind of what I have in mind. Because coaching is very much where the person goes inward and they come up with the answers, not you as the boss, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I know a couple of hypnotherapists, and they both actually were in corporate for a long time, and they're both excellent coaches and hypnotherapists. So just saw a common thread there, and I just thought maybe, you know, it gives you a lot of insight into people, I guess. And
yeah, when you're dealing with a lot of people all the time, then you know, I had quite a heavy sort of involvement in HR, so as part of my role. So you do get to understand people and what makes them tick and that kind of thing. So it does help, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the question, Genevieve, and thanks, Tracy. I'm gonna wrap up with this question actually from Pamela. That's the last question we're going to cover today, which is a question from Pamela, which I think is the best way to wrap up this interview. So Pamela, just give me a second so I can add you as a spotlight. There you go. Please ask your question.
Where did the sheep come into it?
The sheep take up a lot of my time. That's where they come into it. Well, we're on agricultural land, so we've got to be seen to be farmers. And so from a planning point of view, that's obviously why we've got sheep. But actually, I do really like them. And we've just had lambing season, and it's amazing to like experience life and new birth. And it's like, it just, yeah. So I don't want to give them up because they're cute, and they all have personalities and so forth. But yeah, it's a different way of life. I was just saying to Sean, I'm also off grid, so I take the sustainability boxes. It's a completely different way of life, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So.
The reason I ask is because we actually had sheep, and one day they got out into the golf course, and they are the most unruly creatures to get back in. And it was just, why on earth would you want to look after sheep? Because they're the most unruly and you can't control them.
Well, I have mine trained, you see.
Okay, fine.
They come to a bucket. You feed them nuts quite regularly, and then they come to you quite often, and they let you touch. You know, you can actually touch them, and mine have got horns as well, so they're quite easy to handle. If they don't have horns, I think it'd be really tricky to try and catch them. Did you not have a dog? Dogs are really good for rounding them up.
No, and in fact, my dad was a farm manager, and he just decided that he would give us a couple of sheep, and they got out into the golf course, which is old golf course, Troon, and really not what you want on the golf course of Troon. And so we tried to get them back, and it was just an experience of trying to get the sheep back because they just don't listen to you.
How many did you have?
About 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think probably.
But that's beside the point.
Yeah, no, but it was a great question, and maybe like that's where the hypnotherapy comes in.
Yeah.
See, Tracy hypnotizing the sheep.
I wasn't.
To get them to come back. Right, so you might need to get trained in hypnotherapy. I don't know.
The problem is they once there's green or new meadow, it is difficult to get them back. But
right. Thank you, Pamela. It was a brilliant way to wrap up this conversation. What I want to ask you now, Tracy, is so what are some projects that you're working on, and how can people support you? So to wrap up, what are you focusing on at the moment? How can people support you as well?
I'm focusing on, I've sort of launched a Workaholic Toolkit, which is for, aimed at corporate people who are struggling with stress and burnout. It's really cheap. It's £29, and it's things that you download on I download it into an email. I'm still developing the course, but I'm trying to see how many people would be interested and if it's worth actually doing. So that'd be amazing if somebody, if people could have a look at that and see what they think.
So what you're looking is for feedback on the Workaholic Toolkit that you're building?
Yes, please.
Okay, and how can people reach out to you? And how can people express their interest or their support?
So I've got an email, or I'm on Facebook, so I can drop my email on the chat, and which I can do right now.
Yeah. If you can also read out, because then there are some people that are going to be watching the recording for this interview, so they can reach out as well if they're not going to be here. I think this is a dramatic pause from Tracy. So in the meanwhile, while we are here, we can see if Tracy comes back. If there might be a few issues with the internet. Can you please type in the chat what was the biggest lesson that you got out of this interview? What is your what is the biggest lesson? What are the biggest things that you're taking out from this conversation that we had with Tracy, our GTeX member of the month? So, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to stop the recording. So thank you very much for everyone who has been tuning in for the recording. And let's see who's going to be the GTeX member of the month next month.